What if your beauty became your greatest weapon, and your silence could cost thousands their lives? This is the story of a girl named Esther, a name that echoes through centuries as a symbol of courage, wisdom, and divine timing. She wasn't born royal. She was a Jewish orphan in a foreign land, raised by her older cousin Mordecai in the vast empire of Persia. The world around her was unpredictable, ruthless, dangerous. The Jewish people were scattered, living under foreign rule, always just one decree away from destruction. Then, everything changed. King Xerxes, ruler of 127 provinces, dismissed his queen for disobedience and launched a nationwide search for a new one. Young women were taken from their homes, prepared for a year with perfumes and oils, brought to the palace, judged by their beauty. Esther was one of them. She said nothing of her heritage, only followed Mordecai's instruction. Keep your identity hidden, for now. And when she stood before the king, she found favor. More than favor. He loved her. Esther became queen. A Jewish orphan, now crowned with gold, draped in silk, seated beside the most powerful man in the world. But this wasn't a fairy tale, because while Esther wore the crown, evil brewed behind the scenes. A man named Haman, second only to the king, burned with hatred for Mordecai, who refused to bow to him. And when Haman discovered Mordecai was Jewish, he didn't just want revenge on one man. He wanted genocide. He tricked the king into signing a law to destroy all Jews, men, women, and children, in one day. The decree was sealed, the date set, letters sent to every province. Panic spread like wildfire. Mordecai tore his clothes, sat in ashes, and sent word to Esther. You must go to the king, beg for our lives. But approaching the king without an invitation was a crime punishable by death. Even for the queen. Esther's hands trembled. She hadn't seen Xerxes in a month. If she approached uninvited, and he didn't extend his scepter, she would die. But Mordecai's words rang in her ears. If you remain silent now, relief and deliverance will arise from elsewhere. But who knows whether you were brought to the palace for such a time as this? Esther prayed. Then she acted. She fasted for 3 days and asked all the Jews in the city to do the same. Then she dressed in her royal robes and walked toward the throne room. Every step could be her last. But when Xerxes saw her, his heart softened. He extended his scepter. Esther lived, but she didn't beg immediately. Instead, she invited the king and Haman to a private banquet. Then another. And only at the second feast did she reveal the truth. If I have found favor in your sight, spare me and my people, for we have been sold to be destroyed. The king was furious. Who would dare do such a thing? Esther turned and pointed. The adversary is Haman. The room froze. Within hours, Haman was dead, hanged on the very gallows he had built for Mordecai. The decree to destroy the Jews was reversed. The people rejoiced, and Esther's courage became legend. Not because she had power, but because she risked everything for the right moment and trusted that God had placed her where she was for a reason. Today, many of us find ourselves in places we didn't expect, in jobs, schools, homes, or relationships that feel foreign. But what if, like Esther, you're exactly where you're meant to be? What if the influence you have isn't random, but divinely assigned? Esther didn't start as a queen, but she listened, she waited, and when the time came, she rose, just like you can. This is BibleTales Glow, where ancient truth meets modern life. Subscribe for more real stories of courage, faith, and divine timing. And if you've ever felt placed for such a time as this, share your story in the comments. You never know who needs it.